How much can SMU really prove in this opener against Nevada? There's something to prove. There's not everything to prove. Everything can be proven one way or the other when Florida State comes to town. When you go up against a heavy hitter, not a 2-10 Nevada team that changed their head coach and might be a little bit better than their win total could expect. I'll get to that in a little bit. But if you're SMU going into this game, winning big is the expectation. I think they're going to win big. If they do that, I don't think you get the attention of other ACC teams and fan bases and media and people go, "Oh my gosh, look, SMU's ready. They're going to compete right here, right now." No, it's not. It's not quite that. It's more of a, "Oh, okay." So they're not messing around. Because if you're Miami, Florida State, whoever, if we were to play that Nevada team, then we would win by roughly X score as well. And that's what SMU is trying to accomplish, is prove at the very least to yourselves and to the rest of the ACC, who are judging you from the moment you step onto the field with that ACC logo on your patch and whether or not you should be respected and considered an upper tier caliber program. You are going to be judged about how you adapt to that level of competition. How do you separate? So if you're an ACC team playing a low-level Mountain West opponent like Nevada, well, you should beat them pretty handily. And guess what? Vegas thinks they're going to. Now, this line opened once upon a time, according to our friends at FanDuel, at 19.5. It's moved up to 24.5. Woof. Woof. Is there value on Nevada plus 24.5? I don't believe so. I think SMU is dominating in this spot. Now, could Nevada muck the game up for the first half? Maybe. Nevada doesn't have a lot going for it, though. They have tied for the lowest win total in all of college football at 2.5. And you're facing an SMU offense that has the same quarterback as last year, the same head coach who's offensive-minded as last year, and they averaged 38.7 points a game. Playing in the American, comparable to the Mountain West. So it's not like they're taking a step up and, well, they're not going to have the same again. No, they should at least until they start playing ACC teams, their offense is going to perform at that level. I think SMU is getting at least 40 points in this one. Now, is it hard for an offense to come out firing on all cylinders in week one? Yep, it absolutely is. But SMU's got the weapons to do it. And Nevada has brought in a pretty solid transfer portal class, but they made a change for a reason. Things under Jeff Wilson, they had not gone very well. They'd gone pretty poorly under Coach Wilson, as a matter of fact, so they bring in Jeff Choate. I hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly, Choate, Choate, not entirely certain, but he is a proven head coach. He was at Montana State, and he transformed them while he was there. He was most recently at Texas as a co-defensive coordinator and inside linebackers coach. I think he brings a level of pedigree that Nevada has been needing. I don't think the hire is the wrong move at all. I just don't think you can turn around Nevada very quickly in the Mountain West. And SMU, they're in a different stratosphere at the moment. They are trying to do something different, and they're ready to do something different than what Nevada's doing. Now, Nevada, to their credit, has brought in 24 transfers this offseason, and a pretty good number of them are from the Power 4 ranks. Several of them have followed their new head coach from the University of Texas. So you got 4 guys that once upon a time were potentially going to play. Maybe they were going to get buried on the depth chart, but were considered good enough to go play at Texas. They're going to be on Nevada's team this year. The question for Nevada is, what can you do offensively? What can you do offensively in this football game? Because their quarterback is Brendan Lewis, who most of you probably haven't seen since he was last leading one of the worst Power 5 teams this century, the 2022 Carl Durrell-led Colorado Buffaloes. They went 1-11. They were bad. They could have gone 0-12. Some would say they should have gone 0-12. They were very, very bad. But he's a quarterback in Nevada now, and it's not as hard to play quarterback in the Mountain West as it was in the then Pac-12, RIP. But you're going up against SMU. That's an ACC team now. Now, the running back, Sean Dollars, is a former blue-chip recruit. He was an Oregon guy. He's a good football player. Had a solid season last year, could be in for an even bigger campaign this year, depending on how their offense produces. But Brendan Lewis on one side, Preston Stone on the other, there's a quarterback gap in this game, and it's advantage SMU. So first key to the game, for Nevada, if you're going to just keep this game close for any amount of time, you have to run the football. Your offense has to be your best defense. You've got to keep Preston Stone on the sideline. Nevada in year one here does not have the horses to keep up with SMU's offense. If you let Preston Stone and the Pony Express get rolling offensively, you can't keep up. SMU will run away. And SMU is going to go out, make no mistake about it. I think they're going to come out, try to make a statement as much as they can. Can they make a major one? Not yet. Not with this game, but you can still say something. You've got more eyes on you in this matchup than you will in several of your ACC matchups because it's a week 0 game. Because there aren't that many other games going on. It's Florida State, Georgia Tech, and SMU, Nevada. Those are kind of the most interesting games taking place this weekend. So SMU has mostly brought in Power 4 transfers, a top 35 transfer portal class at that are coming from Power 4 schools. They should have a roster that is capable of at least being in the middle of the ACC. FanDuel has their win total set at 7.5. I think that's a pretty solid number. If they go over that total, that's a good season. Frankly, if they're a 7-win team, even if they go under that total, I think that's a successful season for SMU. But the last time these teams met, the final score was 45-10. I learned that after I had the game score prediction in my head of SMU winning 45-13, which is where I land. Everything here lines up in favor of SMU. And I think they're going to be extremely motivated. I think it's a really exciting game to watch from SMU's standpoint because it's the first impression. You only get one chance to make a first impression. You're playing a lowly Nevada team. Well, if you want to be a legit team in the ACC, if you want to be taken seriously, you go out and you curb stomp Nevada here. And they're going to have the tools to do it. Now, another question I have for Nevada. How do they slow Elijah Roberts? He was second in the American Athletic Conference in sacks last year. What do they even look like along the offensive line? Can they sustain a running game to keep Preston Stone on the sideline? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. But we're going to find out on Saturday. We're going to find out tomorrow, maybe even today, depending on when you're listening to or watching the show. So, Brandon Lewis and Sean Dollars in the backfield, they're going to have to be effective. They're going to have to run the football. They've brought in 24 transfers, as I mentioned, so maybe their roster's slightly better than last year, but it wasn't very good last year. It was not very good. This is not a Colin Kaepernick Nevada team that can beat, a top shelf Boise State team. That's just not going to happen. But the last key that I've got here for Nevada to even try and hang around, I see no possibility of an upset. This is an SMU win all the way. They'll go along their merry way with their first win with an ACC patch on the jerseys there. You got to disrupt Preston Stone, who was only a 60% completion guy last year, but he had 28 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. That's a pretty good ratio. He's a really good quarterback, really, really capable. If you have any shot of hanging around, you got to keep him on the sideline, and when he is on the field, you got to disrupt him. SMU lost their all-conference center, Branson Hickman. He transferred to Oklahoma. They still should have the advantage of the trenches in this game. That's what 24/7 Sports would tell you. That's probably what our eyes are going to tell us this weekend as well. So, fascinating matchup. That is the second biggest game happening this weekend. The first that SMU will play a non-conference game as a member of the ACC.